130 years ago, the circus was coming to town. They only made it to here. Did some of them never leave? In the early morning hours of Tuesday, May 30th, 1893, the Main Circus Train was descending the steep grade down Tyrone Mountain from Houtsdale, Pennsylvania. The descent by railroad rule was limited to 17 cars with a single engine, and the main circus entourage was 17 cars. The problem, however, was that those cars were 70 to 75 feet long, nearly twice the length of standard rail cars of the time. Since the train order showed 17 cars, when the engineer requested a second engine for the trip to provide additional braking, the train master denied that request. Handbrakes were set on several cars, and the trip down the mountain began. It wasn't long before it became clear that controlling the train's speed was becoming a losing battle. Now, as with many stories of the time, details vary in the telling, but it was probably near 5:30 a.m. when the train entered the curve here at McCann's Crossing, just north of the town of Tyrone. That is when disaster struck. The tender and the following cars began leaving the rails and piling up at the base of the roadbed. The cars containing the animals' cages and enclosures were at the front of the train and took the brunt of the derailment, but still, 6 people lost their lives here that day. If you haven't guessed, we're back here at the site of the Walter L. Main train wreck with Scott from Scott's ODDYSEEy and John, a local paranormal enthusiast. And we're going to see if we can answer that question, if some of the victims of this train wreck never left.
The cat didn't jump up, it was tossed. Okay? So I'm like trying to figure out what's going on. And so I decide I'm going to do ghost box session or echo box. And first time I tried it, nothing successful. Second time I figured I'd ask, what's wrong with the cat? Do you not like the cat? And I get this voice comes back, says, love the cat. It does not care. Here, kitty. It's like, what?
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Hey, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. I mean, why not? You don't want to miss any of these upcoming day trips and adventures we've got for you. Right down below. Go ahead, click it now, I'll wait.
And I've got a lot of things from this place at my house using a PSB-7.
What's a PSB-7?
PSB-7 ghost box.
Ah, okay.
Made by DDDySEEy.
Don't know the name.
You've probably seen it on Ghost Adventures a million times.
I haven't watched Ghost Adventures in a while,
But I mean, I've caught some weird stuff, and I've got answers to this place.
See, I was fascinated by the subject. I was watching History Channel, I believe, and they had a new series on where they were a bunch of people chasing ghosts. And they were in a particular town where a ghost would appear in the town, in a quarry, and in a mine. And the mine was a gold mine, and the walls were lined with crystal and everything. And every time they would go into it, they actually were getting interesting things, like something like a train rushing through, or a breeze that wasn't there, or sounds coming from a direction and passing through them. And never saw any apparitions there, but people were claiming to see apparitions in the quarry, and people were claiming to see apparitions in the town. And somebody said, well, what's the connection here? And somebody said, well, the times are different. They noticed a time differentiation, so they set up in all 3 locations and caught the apparition in the town, caught the apparition in the quarry, and heard the sounds inside the mine, and they were going crazy. And a geologist comes along, and they were asking, well, what kind of geology goes on around here? And they said, well, running from here all the way through the quarry and all the 5 miles up into the town and underneath the town is a whole load of quartz that runs through there. And they were like, oh, we're on to something. That was like the season ender. And I was like, oh, we're actually going to see some science here to actually possibly prove. And the show was canceled.
Stone tape theory. Stone tape theory.
the show is canceled. I was like, no, you can't do that. So I would love to do that. We'll be sitting there in front of the TV, and I live literally in a mansion, in an old hotel. So I'm in a room that's 21 foot by 32 feet, which is one big room. And we sit on the couch watching 100-inch TV, and sit there. We're watching, and there's lights on the other side of that house that are automatic. You turn on, we have a dog over there. So the light, if he shifts, the lights turn on. When they turn on, the wall to the right of the TV has light casting on it. Not really bright, but enough that you can see it. And 3 times now, we have watched a shadow in the shape of shoulders and head come across it, huge on the wall there. Nobody's awake. No one else is in the house. Mm-hmm. It's not bat season, not the shadow of a bat. There's no way to cast that shadow. Even if you stood in the doorway between the room, the vestibule, and the room, even if you stood there, there's no way to stand there to get that shadow to cast. And there's no cars outside with headlights on that side of the building.
This place is known for paranormal, and I have investigated several times, and I have caught numerous EVP and or ghost box responses that relate to that train wreck and the people that were involved with it. Not so much the people that died, but the families that were here that had to deal with the aftermath of the train wreck. I use a recorder, good quality recorder. I do not believe in the cheap ones. I believe in something Wave 4. You don't have to be at a place at any given time at night. You can do this and collect in the broad daylight.
So baby.
And we get somebody interrupting all the time.
I'd rather do it.
Well, we had nothing happening at the wreck site, so we relocated up the road a little bit to the Baughman Cemetery. While there's no direct link between the victims of the accident and the cemetery, there are some links between some of the locals involved in the story and the burials here at Baughman Cemetery.
Been here before. Had voices here. Anybody wish to speak to me? Hello, anybody wish to speak to us? You can talk through this device. It has been done before. Anybody want to speak to us? Anybody wish to have anything to say to us? We're here to talk to you. Hear your story. I picked up something, but I can't make it out. It was like a guttural scenario.
What are we looking for?
Gotta leave listener. There it is.
Yeah.
Should be the only grave sitting with the actual care plaque on it. Yep.
He's the one that ended up in his chicken coop and found a black panther and had to kill it.
Ah. Yeah.
Which one is John Bachman's grave? Because because a lot of these, I know he's around this tree somewhere. And I can't read.
Probably gonna be right over there. There's a Bachman there.
That's what I figured.
Nah, I believe should be. That's Stonebreaker.
Yeah, supposedly he's very close to the cemetery. Some part's gonna be trying to decipher.
Yeah.
That's gonna take some tricky flash photography to do that.
Or rubbing. Well, this has a B at the top.
His name is John.
It's definitely not John.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to be one of these closer that we cannot read.
Yeah.
There's a trick to that.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Look at it from this angle. There's John.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the tree that the local legend says you can see the children playing hide and seek and hear them laughing, correct?
That or you hear the banging off the flagpole. And of course the horseman supposedly runs up through in the mist.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's got a horseman story.
Oh yeah.
They say someone died in that shed. That's false. Someone used to live there.
Yeah, they say the caretaker murdered a couple kids or something like that.
I've never heard about murdered kids though. They say if you look back in these trees where that big oak is back there, you can say if you're driving around and the full moon's over that way, that's where you see someone hanging up over there in those trees.
I thought it was at the entrance.
I was always told by our family members that's been taking care of the cemetery since, oh my God, since I was even born. I was always told it was up in that corner.
Okay.
Where he's standing at. And then my girlfriend.
So that might explain why the shed part came into being. I see it's been rebuilt.
We did that.
Because I remember like a couple years ago it was like half open.
Yeah, we had people come up and they vandalized it. They tore half the side down off of it. So we replaced it right up from that Jaeger and Woomer. Now that's where I brought my associate and like 3 different times in a row, 3 different days. She always got lightheaded over in that corner in that new part over there.
Oh, we'll have to go over there and see if it happens.
You might have.
Well, we're up the hill here in the newer part of the cemetery. There are reports over here of people getting lightheaded.
Yeah, one time I was here with my wife. I was using an Echo Box app. And as she's walking down through the cemetery, I pick up, "Stop the redhead." What is the odds of that? Because my wife was a redhead. Yeah, this is the Friday plot. This is Hiram Friday, the owner of the farm that the train wreck happened. Civil War veteran.
He's also the one whose daughter was milking the cow when the tiger
attacked.
Disemboweled the cow. At least it went after the cow and not Hannah.
Exactly. Hannah, unfortunately, is not here. She's in her cemetery buried with her husband towards on the opposite side of Bald Eagle, PA.
Which is just probably 3 or 4 miles down the road from here.
Yeah.
You come to a cemetery often. You understand the meaning of this? This is a lamb on the top of the stone, meaning that this is a child buried here. Even though it doesn't identify dates. Lots of secret messages and stones.
Oh yeah.
Especially the older ones. There are ones from the Civil War where you'll find rats on the top, and that's because they were members of the swamp rats.
No, that shot didn't work.
No.
Oh, sun!
Yeah. Hey, look at that! Oh, I can't see anything.
Yeah. All I could see was Scott's Odyssey with this big glow above it.
Amen to that.
Well, we didn't really establish much of anything one way or another at either of the locations, but a lot of times it's as much about the story as it is about the history. Hope you enjoyed this little Halloween look into the hauntings here in Baughman Hollow. Until next time, as always, have a great week.
You're day tripping.